A very warm welcome to all class 8 students to this new session where we are going to discuss the first chapter of grammar, kinds of sentences. Now, you are already familiar with the topic as you have done this topic in class 7th also. So, this is basically a recapitulation of this topic. To begin with, what is a sentence? Now, you know that we use words to express our feelings and thoughts, okay? And when this group of words, makes complete sense, such group of word or set of words are called sentences. So how do you define a sentence? It is the functional, it is the basic unit of language formed by a set of words, a group of words in a particular order that makes complete sense, which is called a sentence. Okay? For examples, Goa has fine beaches. When did you go to Goa? How beautiful the sunset scene was. Now, if you observe all these sentences, all of them begin with capital letters and they end in punctuation marks, either a full stop, a question mark, or an exclamation mark. Without these punctuation marks, they will merely be group of words. We won't be able to differentiate them or categorize them into different kinds of sentences. So capital letter and punctuation marks are quite essential. Next, let us see what are the components of a sentence. Again, this is known to you. There is every sentence, this is a universal formula for the formation of a sentence in English. Three basic components: subject, verb, and object. Subject refers to the doer of the action. It can be a noun or a pronoun in the sentence. Okay. Verb refers to the action being done, the state of action, or where it's the being or possession of the subject. And object means the thing or person who is receiving the action done by the subject. Okay. So how do we form a sentence correctly? Subject, then verb, and then object. Now this verb part can at times be a combination of a helping verb and a main verb. Okay. So for example, if we see, I am reading newspaper. So here am is a helping verb, whereas reading is the main verb and newspaper is the object. What is I reading? I is reading a newspaper. He did not arrive. You are working very hard. She will come tomorrow. You can have both sets where only the main verb is there, or it can be a combination of both helping verb and main verb. Okay. Now we move on to types of sentences. On the basis of formation, these different kinds of sentences can be classified into 4 types: declarative, interrogative, exclamatory, and imperative. A declarative sentence is a statement, basically. For example, I ate cereal for breakfast. I like to watch funny movies. Second is interrogative sentences which ask a question. Do you like to swim in the pool? Have you ever been to the zoo? Third is exclamatory, which ends in an exclamation. Those flowers look so pretty. I love to play tennis. And the fourth one is imperative, commands or requests. Come over here and sit down. Please write your name. Okay, so these are the 4 kinds of sentences in English on the basis of their formation. Let's discuss each type in detail. The first one is assertive. As I told you, they are also called declarative since they tell or declare something, make a statement. They give information about facts, opinions, or beliefs. And usually these sentences end in full stop, a period. As these sentence, asserts or states or it declares, they are also called as declarative sentence. For example, Tansin was one of the 9 gems in the court of Akbar. This is a statement. Honesty is the best policy. Believe the sun rises in the east. The universal fact. So, such type of sentences, they give information about facts, opinions, and beliefs. Now, assertive sentences are further divided into 2 types, affirmative and negative. The word affirmative means sentences having a positive sense. For example, she is tall. I like to eat ice cream. They are positive. In contrast, the negative sentences have the word not. They give a sense of negation. For example, she is not tall. I do not like ice cream. So, assertive sentences can be categorized into these 2 subcategories, affirmative and negative. The second type of sentences are imperative sentences. As I've told you earlier also, sentences which give a command or through which we make a request. At times we give advice also, and they also end in a period, a full stop. Such sentences are called imperative sentences. For example, Mom, please tie my shoes. The doctor is telling the patient, open your mouth. Again a request, please bring the pizza to the table. Then a command, Mark, do all of your homework before you go out to play. Then a suggestion, do 10 push-ups and 20 jumping jacks. So when we are giving a command, making a request, or giving an advice, we are saying an imperative sentence. Now, how do we form imperatives? The imperatives, I've told you that usually the sentence has a subject, a verb, and an object. But imperative sentences are those where we don't have any subject. It is implied. It is not written, but it is understood. The imperative is formed with the verb without a subject. You will not find the subject, but the subject is you always. Like open the door. Of course, it is referring to the person who is listening. Take an aspirin. Pay attention. When you are giving these commands, of course, there is a listener and it will be referred as the subject as you. And how do we form negative imperatives? We use do not or don't and the verb. Don't touch that. Don't play with your brother. This is how imperatives are formed without a subject. Third type of sentences are interrogative sentences. Of course, they help us ask a question and they end in a question mark. For example, what is the color of her dress? Did you write your homework? And there are other examples also here. Does money grow on trees? Can you come to my house after school? Do you own any weapons? What time do we go to lunch? How old are you? When is your birthday? So these are all examples of asking questions. So basically, there are three types of interrogative sentences. The first are the yes-no type interrogatives, which are usually formed using auxiliaries. The first one, if you can see the example, are you busy now? Now the word are is an auxiliary, it's a helping verb. So these yes-no type interrogatives, they begin with auxiliaries is, am, are, was, were, has, have, can, may. Okay? And they usually have the answer either in positive or negative, yes or no. Second type of interrogatives are alternative interrogatives. Such interrogative sentences, give you two alternate answers from which you have to choose. For example, is this room number 22 or 24? So you have been given two options, 22 or 24. Similarly, if I give you another example, would you prefer chocolate or vanilla ice cream? So you have to give me one answer out of the two alternatives. So such interrogatives are alternative interrogatives. Third type of interrogatives are the WH family. What, when, where, who, why. They demand a specific answer. They might end up, they might have open-ended answers. For example, who are you? Where do you live? What are you doing these days? So such interrogatives they demand a specific answer. So these are the three types of interrogative sentences which we come across in English. The last and the fourth type of sentences are exclamatory sentences. As the name itself suggests, they end in an exclamation mark and they help us to express very strong feelings or emotions. For example, happy birthday, Tom. The feeling of happiness. Ouch, that hurt. Feeling of pain. Banana splits are the best dessert. Excitement. What a beautiful rose. Appreciation. You are praising something. So they help us to express sudden, strong feeling where you don't actually think it automatically comes from the heart. Feeling of praise or surprise, appreciation, pain. So these feelings are expressed using exclamatory sentences. And lastly, we will talk about the formation of exclamatory sentences with the words what and how. The formation is what with an article a or an ending with then adjective followed by a noun or pronoun and the verb comes at the end. Similarly with how plus we use an adjective or an adverb, then the noun or a pronoun and ending again with the verb. For example, what a bright student she is. What a pleasant day it is. What a wonderful writer you are. What a red juicy apple he has. Then using how, see the examples. How pretty she is. How determined he is. How generous you are. How lonely he is. So this is how you can form exclamatory sentences with this kind of formation, verb coming at the end of the sentence. With this, we come to the end of this session and this will be followed by an assignment. Kindly do it.